Good afternoon. My name is Pavan. Parikh. I'm the Hamilton County Clerk of Courts. We're here to unveil a really major step forward in public access to court documents. It is a project that this office has been working on for a few years, but since I took office last December, we've been laser focused on trying to get this out, at least phase one, which we're here to discuss today, to ensure that everyone in the public has access to important documents related to cases in our Hamilton County courts. Over 100,000 cases come through our system every year. And our focus since I've taken office is one, to reduce barriers in access to justice, increase access to justice, modernize our court systems, and improve customer service. We think using technology to reduce barriers to get people access to documents is one of those ways. So today we are announcing that many court records for the Hamilton County Court of Common Pleas, Court of Appeals, Domestic Relations Court, and Municipal Court are now going to be available to be viewed entirely online through a redaction process. So what is redaction? Redaction is blocking of certain information from documents. What is that information? Documents are presumed to be public records, however there's certain information that is required not be released to the public. That protected information has been deemed personal identifiers by the Ohio Supreme Court under Rule 44 Division H. It includes things like social security numbers, financial account numbers, credit card numbers, debit card numbers, charge card numbers, and employer and employee identification numbers. We've also chosen to take another step to protect members of the public. We've chosen to block certain cases entirely from the remote online access for the time being to ensure that we are not, again, releasing information into the public that could be problematic. Ohio Supreme Court Rule 45 allows clerks of court to block remote access to cases at our discretion. And so these are the cases that we've chosen to block from the remote online access. Any case with sex crime charges, so under Ohio Revised Code 2907, any case of crimes against a family under Ohio Revised Code 2919. The point of this is to ensure that we do not re-victimize the victims of these crimes. And we are working diligently to protect their information. You can still get access to these documents. You have to request them specifically, though. Given the sensitive nature of these crimes, we want to ensure, we want to make doubly sure that we are not releasing the information out there to the public. Yeah. Certain documents we know will always contain sensitive financial or personal information, traffic tickets, financial documents on a divorce case. So, for example, in a divorce domestic relations case, you will still see the initial filing and answer or decree, but other documents you may still have to come to our office to specifically request. Other types of cases and documents that will automatically be blocked online: seal cases, eviction cases older than 3 years for which the judgment has been satisfied, investigatory blocks for police investigation purposes, and other court order blocks. So what does this look like? This is what the website looks like for most people when you come to search on our website. Our record search tab, and you pull down, go to search by case. You can either enter in the name or the case number to get to the search field. Once you pull that case up, you get to a field or a page that says View Case Documents. Now, previous to today, you would not have access to these documents. If you were an attorney or member of the press, you had your own individual login. You would have access to these documents. The general members of the public, it would show up as a document with a lock symbol on it that you would not have access to see them online. What it will look like now is that under these documents and under these fields, it'll say document may contain sensitive information, redaction may be needed. If the document has already been through the redaction process, so it's been previously requested, or it's a document where we know that there's not going to be any personal identifiable information and we've been able to run it through in a new case, you'll be able to click that icon and you can download the PDF immediately. If the document has not yet been through the redaction process, you'll see the following page. If this screen pops up, it means that the document has not been redacted yet. It will go into a queue to be reviewed and redacted. You'll need to check back over the course of the next couple of business days. Staff will be diligently checking the queue and processing documents in the system throughout each business day. This is important to have this second layer of quality control to ensure that there are no errors in the system before documents are released for public view. So what we're currently in is phase one. Phase one is our phase one priority to improve transparency in our system. This is running redaction on demand. It could take up to 2 business days for a document to be reviewed and put online to be viewed. We currently have up to 5 staff members monitoring the situation to ensure that these documents are being reviewed as quickly as we can. When it is sent into the queue, it is pulled by a staff member who double checks to make sure that the correct fields are actually being blocked by the software. For example, very simply, if the field says social security number, SS number, that is something the software is going to immediately see and recognize that it needs to block. However, on some handwritten documents and other types of documents, personal identifiable information may occur in other places that is not so easily identifiable, so we want to ensure that we have a human eye over this on the front end to make sure that we're not releasing that information. This quality control measure ensures that this protected information remains redacted and does not slip through the system. However, there are many forms that we know never include personally identifiable information, and those should automatically go through the process and be available very quickly. Phase 2 would be an automatic redaction. As the artificial intelligence learns the areas in which it needs to be blocking, as it learns the patterns for numbers it needs to be blocking and information it needs to block, it should be able to do this process automatically. In the future, this will be automatic. We anticipate that once we've, again, taught the system and worked through this. One more time, we are being overly cautious right now to ensure that public personal identifiers are being protected. We do want to increase access to records, but we do want to mitigate any risk to the public for any personal identification getting out. With that, I will turn it over to Judge Terry Nestor, presiding judge of the Court of Common Pleas.
Thank you, Bob. So on behalf of the Court of Common Pleas, first, I'm going to say 3 things. First, I want to thank our clerk, Pavan, for doing an excellent job in increasing access to justice. I was just at the Ohio Judicial Conference, and access to justice is a key component of our democracy in Ohio, and people getting access to justice really starts with access to the information in the files in the clerk of court. So I want to thank Pavan for doing this. Second, I want to just tell the public that access to justice starts with getting your file. And getting your file is sometimes a challenging thing, and now the clerk's website provides you with access to information that was previously not accessible. So procedural fairness and the idea that people can have access to justice really starts with the kind of progress that the clerk is making here. And third and finally, this is an example of the kind of access to justice that hopefully will be more prevalent in our courthouse as we move forward. Technology is changing, our courthouse has to change, and we have to increase the ability of the public to access justice in this building. And it starts with looking out at the public with the technology that is available in the courthouse. And on behalf of the Court of Common Pleas, I want to just thank Pavan for doing and thank you for being here and listening to the presentation, because I think it's really important for the public to know that access to justice is important to the clerk and to everybody who works in their courthouse. So thank you, Pavan.
Thank you, Judge. So in conclusion, this is a very important first step towards transparency. It is not a panacea. It doesn't fix everything, and it doesn't fix everything right now. But we need to start taking these steps in order to get to a system where everyone can have access to everything that they need to all the time. And we believe that this first step takes us light years ahead of where we have been, and we look forward to working with the members of all the courts that this office serves and the members of the public to ensure that we can get you what you need as citizens and taxpayers in Hamilton County.